Hey movie fans, just here to talk a little bit more of a full review on DC's Justice League. Early reviews coming in had this movie pretty low, but after that initial span, it went up a little bit. Last I reported, it was at a 39%, but now it's jumped up to a 41%, which I know it's only 2% difference, but being in the 40s feels a lot better. and also, this is something interesting to note. The audience score on Rotten Tomatoes has it at an 83%. So even though the critics may not have been praising this movie, it sounds like audiences overall agree with me and they enjoyed their experience with Justice League. Like I said, a little more of a full review. I want to talk a little bit more in depth about some of the things that I thought made this movie a success, made this movie great, and also gives us a spot to go from in the DC extended universe, and why I want to see more with this Justice League group. So let's start off with the overall of the Justice League. I think you get some really interesting chemistry here with the different characters. Batman, Wonder Woman coming together. They go out. They're the ones trying to get this team in. Flash is an easy sell. They pull him in quickly. They got to go and get Aquaman, who's not interested. Got to get Cyborg, who's also not interested. And so, I mean, they had their work cut out for them. But I love the dynamics of this group. Batman is logical, but his logic is based on humanity. And his love for humanity and his hope to help and to save and to protect and to do good and to do what's right. Then you got Cyborg, whose logic is pure logic.
Relax, Alfred. I'll take it from here.
Do I know you?
It's data. It's derived data. And so there's an interesting component with those two characters that way. And then on the other side of it, you have Wonder Woman, whose heart is just pure goodness. And so she's based on that purity. And then you have Aquaman, Arthur Curry, who's just raw emotion. And it's just interesting, the mix that these bring into it. With of course, then you get the Flash, who kind of is more just the youthful, jovial innocence, but also just great comic relief for the group. And
Oh, awesome! As a bat signal, that's your... Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
It's so cool.
You know, that team chemistry is pretty awesome, and that's one of the things that I think this movie did a great job of establishing, and why I want to see more with this group. So that's them. That's the group. That's the core. What else did I really love about it? Now, I talked about Flash a little bit more than the others before, but I want to talk about Gal Gadot's acting. I really do think she's incredible. I read some reviews where critics were saying she wasn't enough to make this movie, get to the next level. But man, just watching her facial expressions and just watching her acting, I really was impressed. I think she does an excellent job with the Wonder Woman character and portraying that purity that she has, and just that drive to do what's good and to do what's right. So that's pretty amazing. But the one that I really want to mention is Batman.
My turn.
I love how they really brought out Batman's humanity. I mean, look who he's going out there with. He's got, Wonder Woman, the Amazonian, who, yeah, invincible pretty much as far as we know. So amazing, strong, fast, all these superpowers. You got Arthur Curry, Aquaman, which not only underwater is he, super powered, but even out of the water, he's really strong. He's jumping. He's doing all kinds of amazing things. The Flash with his super speed, Cyborg, robotic, he can fly, all kinds of crazy stuff. But Batman, they didn't put him on an equal plane, and I think that was a strength to this movie, was really showing that, Batman is not like those guys. He had the drive, he had the heart, he had the care, and he's even got, he's got some things to help him out. I think it's best stated when he does recruit Flash. He grabs Barry Allen from Central City, and they're about to get in his car, and Barry asks him and says,
What are your superpowers again?
I'm rich.
you know, it makes for a great comedic moment, and it's funny, but I love just the truthfulness of it. That's you know, he doesn't have superpowers. He has money, and he's able to have really cool stuff, and you know, he really does have to rely on that to even hang with these guys in the Justice League. There's even a shot where it shows him, you know, beat up, bruised, and I love seeing that weakness because of, you know, Bruce Wayne's mere mortal who's just trying to do what's great. So that to me is a real strength to what they did with the Justice League, and that was really awesome. So I do want to talk a little bit of spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie yet, I would suggest stopping the video here, go watch it, come back and join this conversation after you've seen it, because I do want to talk some spoilers. So if you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, now's the time to to put a pause to it. So let's talk about that opposite. So we talked about Batman's weakness, and that is in contrast to Superman, who has no weakness, you know, without the kryptonite around. So talking about Superman. So yeah, I knew they weren't going to make Justice League without Superman, but boy, they kept teasing it hard in the trailers that, you know, maybe he's not in this. So we didn't know how he was going to be involved or what that was going to be like. So that was part of the mission, you know, to get Superman back. And crazy. I didn't expect it to go this way with what they did in the movie. I didn't expect them to have to figure out a way to bring him back. I mean, we knew that Superman drew his power from the sun. So interesting that, you know, he gets taken out by Doomsday in Batman vs Superman, and they put him in a coffin, close him out from the sun, and then bury him under the ground and cover him up in dirt. So no chance for him to regenerate there. So I was kind of wondering how they were going to, you know, bring him back. But did I like the way they did it? Yeah, it was a little weird. But it was effective, and it kind of made sense with the storyline, and they were able to do it in a way that I think it was alright. It was alright. And then when he came back, you know, there was a little bit of a struggle there in Superman really knowing who he was and what's going on. So that created some cool moments. Actually, one of my favorite moments in the movie, right there. So, anyways, yeah, I don't want to talk too detailed about it all, but interesting that the way they did that. But like I'm saying, the next installment here, I mean, they're gonna have an enemy that is so much stronger than Steppenwolf, because I mean, Superman, it was nothing. It was nothing for him. But obviously, you also can throw in the kryptonite, which, you know, the tag scene there at the end seems like there's going to be a little bit more Lex Luthor involvement, so that would loan itself to kryptonite playing a factor. But yeah, so how did I like him in the movie? You know, I love Henry Cavill's Superman. I think he's a great fit for Superman, and does some great things. And yeah, I don't know. I guess that would be my only negative comment on it. It was just so much of it's just too easy. But I think they used it to an advantage, to where it brings great humor and just really ups the entertainment value. So keeping this movie a great watch at the theaters, and just really entertaining and really fun. So there's just a little bit more of my thoughts, guys. A little deeper review into Justice League. I hope that you enjoyed it too. I hope you found this to be useful and got some things out of it. What I do want to finish with, though, is the message. My first watch through Justice League, I really liked it. I thought it was good. My second time watching it, though, I loved it, and I thought it was great. And part of what made it so great for me the second time was really catching on to this message, and then seeing that in the different characters. I mean, it's stated, it was there. There's this great conversation between Batman and Wonder Woman where Bruce Wayne is calling her out kind of hiding in the shadows, for not really being like Superman and being in the spotlight and being that beacon for everybody. And he talks to her about her need to move on. And you know, she kind of retaliates how Batman hasn't moved on, and he's blaming himself for Superman's death. And you know, that's kind of an interesting thought. And as I looked for that throughout this movie, I mean, you see that in Barry Allen. His dad wants him to move on. His dad wants him not to be caught up in trying to solve that murder mystery that Barry Allen's got going on, that, you know, has put his dad in jail. Arthur Curry, there's talk about how he was abandoned as a child, and how he hasn't really gotten over that, and how he needs to move on. Gotten over is kind of an interesting phrase, sorry. More than he hasn't dealt with that or faced that. He's kind of ran away from it. But it explains who he is and what he's doing, because he maybe hadn't moved on, but because he was abandoned and neglected, he cares for those who also might be neglected. And so you see that there. Same with Cyborg, Victor. There's a new life for him, and he's got to embrace it and move forward with it. And so this theme is kind of throughout all the Justice League of their need to move on. Where's it with Superman? Well, it kind of weighs heavy on Lois. Lois kind of carries that part of the theme for Superman. But there's a powerful message in that. We need each other. We need the help of others to help us to move on when we've been through hard times or had really sad things happen to us in our lives. And how awesome it is that we can unite with people that care for us and love us, and that we can move forward in our lives, continuing to do good and even great things. So love that message in the Justice League, and hope you'll enjoy it. If you haven't seen it yet, well, sorry some of it got spoiled for you, but go love it anyways. All right, I saw it twice.